गुड आफ्टरनून फ्रेंड्स। हम लोग इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस के सीरीज में एक नया इंटरव्यू लेके आए हैं। आज हमारे साथ दीपांशु पांडे हैं जो कि अपना इरमा का एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करेंगे। इरमा रूरल मैनेजमेंट में एशिया की नंबर 1 यूनिवर्सिटी है। तो चलिए दीपांशु से शुरू करते हुए पहले उनका एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड जानेंगे और उसके बाद उनके इंटरव्यू की तरफ जाएंगे कि उनसे इंटरव्यू में क्या क्या पूछा, कैसे उन्होंने टैकल करा। चलिए दीपांशु शुरू करते हैं।
So, hello, sir, and good afternoon, all my friends. So, talking about my profile, so I belong to a PCM background until till my class 12th, and then I opted to do my bachelor's from GB Pant University, and that was in BSc Agriculture Honors. And I'm a fresher, and I wrote CAT this year, and I had given my IRMA interview recently. So, talking about my interview experience. So, I was the first one to be interviewed in the morning slot. So, as soon as the link was provided to me at around 9:50 a.m. So within 1 minute, my interview was started, and there were two panelists, both for males. One panelist, one age was around 40, and panelist two age was around in 60s. So interview was started by panelist one. So he just started by saying that where are you joining from? So yeah, it was a starter question, and I said, sir, I am joining from my home in Haldwani district, Nainital. And then he said, when you completed your graduation, I told about my graduation in June 2021. And then he asked me, how was your CAT prep? So this was one of those questions which I haven't prepared, but I think it doesn't require any preparation. So I answered it by telling him all the things which I went through during my CAT preparation, and then in the contrary, he also asked me what are the challenges that you face during your CAT preparation. So I mentioned about my weakness in VARC and how I tackled it, how I found different ways of getting it by by giving various sectional tests, by reading articles. So this was all about my CAT prep. And then he said that, okay, after your written exam, you would have also practiced GDPI. So then I talked about my GDPI preparation. I mentioned that I had took a course some from some institute, and then he went on to say that what all things you were told by that institute. So I basically, it at that instant it tickled in my mind that I should say that, and I went on to say that, so they helped us in designing and framing a few important questions. And so he asked me that what all questions did they help you. So I said, sir, questions like, tell me about yourself, why MBA, what after MBA. So he was also smiling, and that was the thing that maybe he was having that much faith, or maybe the confidence by which I gave my answer, that he didn't ask me these questions in that interview. And so then he also asked me, haven't they told you about reading current affairs or general awareness? I said yes, they do told us. So how you went about that? So I mentioned that I studied or I am following via online mode. That is two major channels. One is Study IQ and other is World Affairs. So he mentioned that, okay, online mode, not offline mode. I said yes, sir, online mode. So then he said that, why not offline mode? So I mentioned that I started it with online mode, and I don't find any problem with it, and so it's good for me. So these were all the questions which were asked to me by the panelist one. Then came the second panelist. So second panelist, the majority of my discussion happened around my WAT. That was the written ability test. So the topic of my written ability test was sustainable agriculture. How sustainable is agri-tech ecosystems accelerated northward march. So it was a kind of a little bit complicated topic, but still I managed to write something over it when my VAT had happened. So panelist two, my major of my interview went around the sustainable agriculture and agri-tech ecosystem. So he started by saying that what are the challenges of farmers you faced, and then what can you do about it. So here I mentioned about one important thing, that farmers are not getting the due share of what consumers are paying. And also I said that there is a major problem is of in supply chain. So these were the two main highlighters which I gave. Then there were discussions around supply chain. Then also after that there were discussions around FPO, that is Farmers Producer Organization, and cooperative societies which are there. And after that he said me to give some examples on supply chain companies. So which I gave, like Udan, Ninja Cart, Big Basket, and all. Then he asked me that how price volatility of agri inputs can be controlled. So I talked that if the I talked that when from harvest to the market, when the produce is going, so there is a loss of almost 30% of that commodity, due to which the amount which is to be present in the market, so that is not there. But if we solve this logistic problem, then definitely the that particular commodity will be there in abundance. And if something is there in abundance, then there will be no hike in the price. So this was my answer to this question. Then he said me to ask about agriculture schemes. So I mentioned few of these schemes, and then he told that, is there any scheme which is exclusively for the farmers producer organization? So I didn't remember at that time, but I mentioned about Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana and Kisan Credit Card. So he said, yes, these are there, but they are not exclusively for the FPUs. Even the farmers at the individual level can have an access to it. So I said yes, sir. So I am not very sure about the exclusively scheme for FPU. And then he asked me, the last question which he asked me was, how much is the government spending on the FPUs, whether it's 18 lakhs, 20 lakhs, or what is the amount. So I again said that, sir, I'm not sure about the exact amount which government is spending. And then this was the end of interview for me. And then at last the panelist one again said that, do you have any questions for us? I said, no, sir, I'm good. Then they both said, okay, thank you so much and all the best.
So there was no questions over your academics, like what was your favorite subject and any stuff related to your acads?
No. The majority was, as I mentioned, that panelist one was more about how you went about your CAT prep and GDPI prep, and panelist two was more keen about my VAT topic. And in between, he was also reading what I had written in my VAT, and he said that means he gave me compliment over my VAT.
Okay.
So I also replied, thank you so much, sir.
So what was it? So what was the total duration of your interview that was held?
Okay, so I think it started at 9:51 a.m. and it ended at around 10:18. So around 26 to 27 minutes interview went.
Okay. So any learnings that you want to give to your coming batches or the coming students that will be giving their interview?
Learnings is that I feel interview is more about analyzing ourselves. Like this I had mentioned in when the panelist one also asked me. So I would just say that whatever you are doing, you just need to recall it and just need to make it in a presentable manner. Like they may also ask you about your strength, about your weakness, about your daily routine. So these are all the things which we are doing it since so long, but we just need to make them in a presentable way. So these are all the things. And yes, of course, like they didn't ask me about my academics, but being a fresher, we always expect questions from our academics. So whether we are good or we are not good at it, but at least we need to prepare 1 or 2 subjects, so that in case if they may ask, we don't have to say that sorry sir, we don't know.
Okay, so you mean that preparing academics is also essential for after being a fresher.
Yes.
Okay, थैंक यू दीपांशु। दोस्तों, जैसा मैंने बोला था कि आगे भी हम इंटरव्यू की वीडियोस लाते रहेंगे। अब जो अपकमिंग वीडियो होगी वो आई एम कोझिकोड की इंटरव्यू की होगी।